Hey, Brobama, can you tell those leftist pukes in the Manhattan DA's office that they might contract E. coli from the amount of shit coming out of their mouths?
You act like I roll with them. We just smoked a joint with them a while back when they found that tape of you saying the grab them by the pussy line.
Pretty cool guys.
They leaked that shit, too. Man, these guys are like that goofy dude who tells the rappers their own social security number.
Nardwar, dude, my recurring nightmare is seeing that artsy fuck with a microphone and a camera guy.
Same here, honestly.
It's like you're running away, but he just keeps getting closer, saying the names.
The names of who, Joe?
Oh boy, Mike Pence is really saying some nice things about you, Donnie. You two make up or something?
Yeah, you guessed it. Had a heart-to-heart, and we cool now.
I bet you gave him fucking hush money. Donald!
Okay, maybe there was some exchange of currency. What does it matter?
This is why you're in this whole ordeal in the first place.
Barack, Stormy Daniels is a fucking whore. Mike can be reasoned with.
Only time will tell.
Can we finish the Game of Thrones tier list?
Yeah, Joe, I still have it pulled up.
Sweet.
I still feel season 5 is a bit low.
It's a perfect fucking list, Joe.
Just because you liked watching Cersei walk through the streets naked doesn't mean it belongs in S tier.
Shame kink unlocked.
Okay, well, how about season 6?
Returns to form, although some of the weird arcs from the last season still linger.
This season was tight.
Crazy events. The resurrection, the door, the battle of bastards, and blowing up the sept.
B.O.B. was so awesome.
Didn't I tell you I hate aluminums?
A lot of good stuff here. I think it's pretty great. Davos confronting the Red Woman could have been the best acting in the show.
I'm a total Seaworth stan.
I still hate the fucking Arya arc, but it did come to a fairly satisfying conclusion. There's still a couple of bad loopholes in logic with the major events. Like, why did Sansa not tell Jon about the veil?
It beats me, but man, that shit looked cool.
Maybe Sansa wanted as few wildlings as possible to rule over.
That would be really interesting, but I think the writers were thinking more like Joe here.
We haven't mentioned them much so far.
I know I've been avoiding it.
Like everything you do.
They deserve credit for how they adapted the source footage for the first 4 seasons. The only problem is it takes George R.R. Martin a decade to do anything, so they ran out of source material, and everything started falling apart.
I'm convinced they were just cringe as fuck this whole time and got exposed.
True, I started watching the post-episode shit to see what these morons were thinking, and it was not comforting.
So what are we thinking on season 6?
I'm at A tier.
I'm almost at S with that Cersei bombing, but I'm also Gucci with that.
True that. Music was unforgettable. Okay, guys.
It's all downhill from here.
Let's get this over with.
Season 7.
Mid.
Yeah, major step back in writing.
It was disheartening because there were so many great reunions and meetings this season, but the logic was so bad, it was hard to enjoy the pandering.
The show started falling with Jon's character. Here he was, proven as the rightful heir, named King in the North, come back from the fucking dead, and the best idea they could come up with is turn him into a bumbling idiot.
His dialogue was never the greatest of all the characters, but it was kind of excused with the innocence of youth that should have faded with time. Instead, he stands around confused, just like me, without my nap and my ice cream.
The action was as great as ever. Daenerys riding on Drogon burning Lannisters was amazing. It was just so disappointing that so many goofy writing decisions overpower any ground they made with all other aspects of the show at this point.
To be honest, this show just really started to suck fucking balls, and nobody wanted to look past the dragon to see it.
I was starting to feel it, but I was in denial, honestly.
Oh, you mispronounced senile.
Fuck you. I kind of like that one, actually.
Oh my fucking God, the Winterfell sister beef was the most pointless fucking shit imaginable.
The writers thought they were so fucking clever with that shit.
And to top it off, they end the arc by killing off Littlefinger pretty unceremoniously.
Shit was so beat.
Where are we at?
With the lack of narrative focus and Swiss cheese logic, I'd feel fine putting this even under season 5.
I'm at D tier, honestly.
I'm not quite down there. I'm feeling good at high C, which is a goated juice box as well.
I think C is good.
Perfectly mid.
Now the problem child, season 8.
Fuck this fucking shit. The writers can take this season and cram it up their smug fucking asses.
If we all die tomorrow in a ball of nuclear fire, even aliens discovering our planet will know that season 8 was absolutely shit.
There was legitimate traction on the petition to rewrite this season.
D&D can kiss my shaved balls for giving up on this show.
Can you believe they quietly quit on the greatest show ever just because they wanted to work for Kathleen Kennedy and make a more than likely awful Star Wars trilogy?
And then when they produced an unpolished turd, they got fired from making said trilogy and haven't been able to show their face in public ever since.
They're both fucking idiots that suddenly either didn't give a fuck or just are truly fucking clueless.
I watched every post-episode summary of this season, and I can tell you they are just fucking stupid.
fucking dick and dickless.
They actually forced each actor on screen to commit character suicide and expected everyone to be fine with that.
The way every part of The Long Night was written, with exception to the music, was unsatisfying at its absolute best.
What long night? I couldn't fucking see anything.
Yeah, all the way down to simple editing fell apart.
The passion was just gone, and even an Arya sex scene couldn't save it.
I bet you've been waiting for that since season 1.
Can anyone tell me the point of Bran at all?
He's just a creepy tree, I guess.
He warged in the middle of the long night and nobody ever asked where he was or what he did.
He probably just wanted to watch his sister get plowed on repeat.
God! You know, the worst part is that's not out of the question at all.
Every episode of this season is either wildly perplexing or boring as fuck.
Very few things are enjoyable about this season. The only thing I love to see is Bronn getting everything he wanted and punching Season 8 Tyrion in his dumb fucking face.
Clegane Bowl was kind of cool if you overlook literally everything else.
Do we even want to talk about how Jaime and Cersei could have survived if they simply stood 10 feet to the side?
Do you want to talk about how Grey Worm and all the Dothraki were just cool with Jon killing Daenerys?
Do you want to talk about how Daenerys kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet?
No!
There are so many things wrong with this season that we could spend all day on it and want to Tom and ourselves by the end of it. Let's just put it in F tier, where it belongs.
If you could make a tier lower than F, I would make it for season 8.
I feel so bad for the actors and everyone that dumped their heart into this show.
My headspace was seriously fucked up after the show ended. I almost said fuck it and tried to start a civil war just to get my mind off it.
Don't worry, guys. Much like this franchise, this tier list isn't going to die in despair by season 8. How do we feel about House of the Dragon season 1?
Yes!
Barack, I don't say this enough, but you're a fucking OG.
We deserve it for reliving that pain.
I'll start by saying my hopes were so low for this show's success, and they blew me out of the fucking narrow sea.
I fell in love with all the characters immediately.
Daemon is the fucking man.
Hands down, favorite character?
I love all the dragons we get to meet.
I don't mind the abundance of dragons either.
Vhagar is a fucking Chad.
Caraxes is kind of funny looking and sounding, but is still very imposing, and a great match for Daemon.
But really, the writing is on par with the best of Game of Thrones. The passion for this story and these characters is back in full force, and I'm pumped to see what they have in store for us.
Can we talk about how they nailed the time skips and how the passage of time affected these characters and their relationships?
That's right, Donald. They covered every piece of relevant history in such a short amount of time and really made sense of it all. The beef between the Greens and the Blacks was so deep-seated that it couldn't have been established in one timeline. They did such a great job with that and casted each character really well.
We are back to the days where we have fun stories in this fantasy world we know and love.
Paddy Constantine had the performance of a lifetime.
The scene where he makes his walk to the throne to support his daughter was truly something special.
Daemon helping him up the steps and placing the crown on his head had me fucking ballin', fam.
I, too, am man enough to admit that scene made me break down.
I love this fucking show.
Every little detail was amazing.
Characters like Rhaenyra and Aemond are going to make this show so good, bro.
Don't forget the Valerians.
I love how Aemond is a little Daemon wannabe.
The characters are so great and the writing feels perfect.
I think it more than deserves a place next to seasons 1 through 4 in S tier.
I wholeheartedly agree. I enjoyed this season more than Game of Thrones season 1, if I'm being honest.
I'm not quite there, but it deserves S tier nonetheless.
Can we do the baddies tier list now?
I would actually be down.
5K subs, man. Then I'll do that and the alien waifu list.
Subscribe right the fuck now. I need this list before I die.
Now, you heard the man. I also want to thank you if you got this far. And let us know in the comments if you like the list or you have any suggestions for future videos.
Until next time, Valar Mogulis.